The movie begins with a man named Chris Johnson sitting alone in a diner. He checks his watch, looks at the exact time, and suddenly turns toward the entrance as if expecting someone to walk in. Nothing happens, so he calmly gets up and leaves. Chris lives in Las Vegas, where he earns a living performing in a small magic show under the stage name Frank Cadillac. He steps on stage and starts performing prediction tricks, but the audience isn't very impressed. To prove himself, he invites a young woman from the crowd. Chris predicts the exact second her necklace will fall into her drink, and just as he says it will, it happens. The audience applauds, assuming it's just a clever illusion. Unknown to Chris, however, 2 FBI agents are watching him closely from the audience. Chris has a unique ability. He can see into his own future, but only up to 2 minutes ahead. Since the magic show barely pays the bills, he spends his free time gambling in casinos. However, he only places small bets and wins modest amounts, carefully avoiding jackpots so he doesn't draw attention. Even so, the casino has been monitoring him. On this particular day, the security team, led by Roybal and his partner Davis, keeps a close watch on Chris through the CCTV system, trying to figure out if he's cheating.
Oh, he's not counting, not off the top of a 5-deck shoe.
Isn't it that 2-bit magic act over at the back page? What's his name?
Yeah, it's Frank Cadillac.
Is he pulling tricks on us? Is that legal?
You can't trick the deck.
I'm telling you, that little prick knows what's coming.
If he's running that good a system, why is he not betting more?
That's gonna be my second question.
Look at that, he's looking right at us. It's like he can hear us.
What table was that?
Alarmed, Roybal orders his team to move in and bring Chris in. Chris already sees this coming. He leaves the table and heads to the cashier to cash out his chips. While standing there, he looks 2 minutes into the future and sees a man pull out a gun, rob the cashier, kill 2 people, and escape with the money. As soon as the vision ends, the man approaches. But before he can draw his weapon, Chris lunges at him and disarms him. When casino security arrives with guns raised, they completely misunderstand the situation and assume Chris is the criminal since he's holding the gun.
It's his gun. He was gonna shoot 2 people.
Realizing he can't talk his way out of this, Chris takes off. All casino security is immediately deployed to capture him. Using his ability to see their moves in advance, Chris skillfully evades them, even as Davis feeds his exact location to the guards through the surveillance system. Head at all times. At one point, Chris ducks into a restroom, quickly changes his outfit, and walks back out in disguise. By the time Davis alerts the team, Chris is already heading for the exit. He escapes the building, steals a car, and speeds away. Roybal contacts the Las Vegas police, and a high-speed chase breaks out through the city streets. As Chris approaches a train crossing, he sees a future where he slows down and gets hit by an oncoming train. Acting on this knowledge, he floors the gas pedal and crosses the tracks just seconds before impact. The police are forced to stop, and Chris successfully escapes. Meanwhile, FBI agent Callie Ferris shows the casino footage to her boss.
He rose to the top of our gambling fraud wish list about 2 months ago. Now what he does has nothing to do with luck. It's definable ability. Look at him. He knows exactly what to do to not be caught.
She's been tracking Chris for some time and believes he has a genuine supernatural ability. Her boss dismisses her theory, reminding her that European terrorists have stolen a nuclear weapon from Russia and plan to detonate it somewhere in Los Angeles. Every available agent is needed for that mission. Callie insists that if they can find Chris, his ability could help locate the nuclear device. Reluctantly, her boss agrees and gives her 5 days to prove it. Callie immediately orders her assistant Cavanaugh to bring in Roybal. Cavanaugh arrives at the casino, flashes his badge, and escorts Roybal to the FBI's mobile command center. There, Callie questions him about Chris. Roybal explains they were monitoring Chris for possible cheating. Callie shows him a photo of Chris looking directly into the camera and asks what they were discussing at that exact moment. Roybal admits he was just about to call in Chris's arrest when Chris suddenly looked up. Callie pieces it together.
So he doesn't have to be there to do it. Once you enter his consciousness, he can pick it up.
After thanking Roybal, Callie dismisses him. Outside, Cavanaugh warns Roybal never to speak about Chris's identity.
Johnson never existed.
That's gonna be difficult considering 100 cameras some at the casino.
Not to worry. Those tapes have been destroyed.
Hey, she's single?
Back inside, Callie and her team analyze the remaining data and confirm that Chris can see between 1.5 and 2 minutes into the future.
At one point, there was a 2-minute, 16-second delay. He never bet, just got up and walked away.
Maybe 2/16's too long. He can't see that far.
Just then, Cavanaugh returns with news. The police have tracked the location of the stolen car. Meanwhile, Chris drives straight to the home of his old friend Irv while still being hunted. When Irv sees the car, he asks where it came from, and Chris casually admits that he stole it. Irv scolds him for stealing cars and constantly being on the run, telling him that kind of life will only end badly. He also advises Chris to forget about the woman he keeps seeing in his visions, the very reason Chris has been visiting the diner every day to meet her. In his vision, he doesn't know the exact day she will appear in the diner. He only knows she will come there at 8:09 because he saw a clock in his vision, and he doesn't even know which time of day that is. So he comes to the diner twice a day.
Listen, about that girl. When you looked at the clock, did you happen to see a calendar? Because it could be 10 years from now she gets hungry.
Cris explains that this woman is special. With her, he can see beyond the usual 2-minute limit of his visions. To him, that means she could be his true love. Irv urges him not to take risks over something that may never happen. Suddenly, Cris freezes. He tells Irv that a woman is on her way, an undercover cop. Irv immediately tells him to run.
Cop? Well, then you gotta go.
But Cris decides to stay.
Hold on. I want to see how much she knows, what she wants from me.
Moments later, Callie walks in and asks to speak with Cris alone. Callie hints at his ability to see the future, but Cris pretends he has no idea what she's talking about, joking that she must mean his magic act, and even mentioning that he saw her at the show. Callie ignores the act and gets straight to the point. She tells him a nuclear device has been stolen and is being smuggled into the United States to be detonated. She wants him to use his ability to help find it, appealing to his sense of responsibility. Cris refuses. He makes it clear he wants nothing to do with the government, believing they'll only use him and lock him away. Callie then changes tactics, reminding him that they have footage of him holding a gun in the casino and evidence of the stolen car.
That was an accident. He had a gun. He was going to shoot 2 people.
Yeah. How'd you know that? No good deed goes unpunished, does it? I can fix your legal problems, buddy, but you've got to step up. Otherwise, your next magic show is going to be in Folsom State Prison.
It's ironic, but people like you who try to help have been torturing me, in the full sense of the word, since I was 3 years old. What do they call it? Oh yeah, observed play therapy. Featuring the marathon 36-hour, can you guess the next flashcard game? So please, leave me alone and let me live some semblance of a normal life.
Cris remains firm and refuses again. Suddenly, armed FBI agents storm the room and surround the building. Then time rewinds. It turns out Cris had only seen this outcome in advance.
You're right, I gotta go.
Using that knowledge, he quickly escapes through the back door. Moments later, Callie enters the room to find only Irv playing pool. She realizes she missed Cris by just seconds.
I missed him by seconds, didn't I?
Elsewhere, Roybal is heading to his car in a parking lot when he's approached by a man and a woman claiming to be Gaming Commission employees. They ask what he knows about Cris Johnson.
What can you tell us about Cris Johnson?
Roybal initially stays silent, then claims he doesn't know anyone by that name. The woman shoots him in the knee. As he collapses in pain, the man pulls out a knife and demands answers. The next day, Cris is once again sitting in the same roadside diner, sipping a drink and staring at his watch. This time, at the exact moment he's been waiting for, the woman from his visions finally walks in. Her name is Liz. She passes a stunned Cris and sits at a nearby table. Cris begins running through multiple future scenarios to find the one where he successfully approaches her.
Excuse me, do you have a light?
I don't smoke.
Sorry to bother you. I have a question about the coffee. The bean they use.
Isn't that something you should probably ask your waitress? Please, don't.
None of his attempts work. Liz's ex-boyfriend Kendall shows up and confronts her about avoiding him. He becomes aggressive, grabbing her hand and refusing to let go even when she says he's hurting her. Cris steps in and tells him to back off. Kendall reacts angrily and throws a punch, but Cris effortlessly dodges it. Kendall keeps swinging, yet Cris avoids every blow and even knocks him down without trying, all while calmly talking to Liz. He pins Kendall down, forces him to pay for Liz's breakfast, and performs a quick coin trick. Still, Liz isn't impressed and walks away.
You know what? You two work things out.
That future doesn't work either. Time resets again. This time, Cris lets Kendall punch him, even though he sees it coming. Liz immediately yells at Kendall and tells him to leave. She stays behind to help Cris. As they talk, Cris tells her his car was stolen and that he's trying to get to Flagstaff. Liz reveals she's heading there too, where she teaches at a local school. Feeling sympathetic, she offers him a ride, though she jokes that he doesn't seem like a psycho. Soon they're on the road together. During the drive, Cris suggests that meeting at the diner and heading in the same direction must be destiny. Liz disagrees, saying she doesn't believe in destiny and that life is better when it's unpredictable. Meanwhile, Callie and Cavanaugh track Cris to the diner and question the owners. They learn that Cris has been coming there daily and always leaving at exactly 8:09, except for that day. The owners mention he met a woman and that they overheard the two of them talking about going to